So Andrew Neil has decided to defend himself because of his stabbing in the back of the GB New guys on Question Time, which was very dishonorable. So he's issued a statement, and we'll read the statement. So he's arguing why it's okay to do what he did. And he says, after weeks of talks with GB News resulting in an exit settlement, so they paid him a bunch of money, the channel then broke it by briefing the Mail on Sunday with a load of smears/lies, and then unilaterally cancelling the exit deal, leaving me free to do, say, whatever I want, plus never again to be on GB News. Couldn't be happier. Full stop.
Oh, that's such cringe. It just sounds like such cope.
So
like, couldn't be happier. It's like, Andrew, I thought you would have been happier if GB News had been exactly the TV station you wanted it to be. Like, wouldn't that have made you happier rather than having this bad blood backbiting with the people that you talked up and then betrayed, and then you didn't even get like the payout you were obviously looking for leaving?
I don't want to speculate too much. But
no, but I
imagine
so
that last
obvious.
line there is because if you take his side of the argument here, he would be saying that, well, I stabbed them in the back because they stabbed me in the back first, therefore it's okay. And you can make that argument. It's weird and petty, but you know, people do this kind
really
of thing.
petty.
But okay, so if we go to the next one here, I just wanted to demonstrate. Interestingly enough, I happen to follow the managing director of YouTube UK and Ireland, and he liked this tweet. Very rarely engages in politics because, of course, makes
his
YouTube
position.
look bad. Yeah, this is his official account, verified checkmark. Like that tweet, very interested. Just something to keep in mind for GB News and their YouTube channel, I suppose. Anyway, let's move on with this, because he's making the claim that the Mail on Sunday were briefed with smears to smear him, and therefore it's okay to go on Question Time and stab GB News in the back because they'd already done it to him. That's his claim. Let's go through this chronologically and see what the evidence is for that I could find that is publicly available.
Okay.
So first thing, so this is the 3rd of September. The Mail Online issued some article. Mail on Sunday, Mail Online, basically being the same thing. I know they're different papers, but it's run by the same organization. Yeah. So all their online stuff is in the same place. So they have one here in which they say there's more trouble at GB News. Andrew Neil will not return to the channel next week. Insiders had predicted Neil will be back on air Monday, September 6th, but this prospect is now believed to be out of the question, according to the Times. So they're getting their quote from the Times here, but this is before he's left anyway, so not too relevant, but I wanted to include all of them to go through it and make sure we got everything. So let's go to the next article from the Mail, in which they said Andrew Neil quits GB News, broadcaster resigns as chairman after power struggle. And this is just reporting on public statements by GB News and Andrew Neil, his tweet in which he said, I'm leaving.
Yeah, but this is where he was like, I'm reducing my public commitments. Everything's fine.
No, he said he's leaving.
Yeah, but he didn't say it was because he'd been backstabbed.
Sure. So if we scroll down on this, you'll get to his tweet and GB News' statement just to show people that, yeah, they are reporting on what is publicly available. There is some speculation in here. So they have a little bit of speculation that sources last week suggested that the Scottish broadcaster was unlikely to return to the channel following reports of a rift with its chief executive, Angelos Flapilabla, Greek name, along with senior management. And, yep. That's speculation, but it was already public speculation that goes back several days, as shown by the previous article. So again, not a smear that's in between this period of him leaving and then stabbing them in the back.
But even then, like, is this a smear? I mean,
no, that's my point. There's nothing
like,
here.
But even if it's like, okay, well, this is an unconfirmed rumor or hearsay, it's like, sure, but this isn't like Andrew Neil is a bad person. This is what is happening.
Sure, but even then, it's made before, and therefore not in this period that he's talking about. So let's go to the next one, in which we have GB News, in which they have Andrew on the 15th of September. And they put this clip up at, I think it was like 6 o'clock p.m. So you have him there, and he's saying Boris Johnson straddles not just the centre, but the centre-right and centre-left. This is a major problem for Keir Starmer.
Now, where does he straddle the centre-right?
Anyway. For political takes as well, I find this pretty strange. It kind of irrelevant to this story here, but I just like the idea that Boris should be centre-left, and therefore he's owning Labour. It doesn't really follow at all.
Yeah, he was owning Labour as the hardcore Brexiteer rightist, but I find it really interesting how well tanned Andrew Neil is here. Yeah, it's a very nice tan you have from the south of France there, Andrew.
He went on holiday. But he's on here, still with GB News, doing his presenter thing, which he said he would do. But this is on the 16th of September he's doing this. And then he went on Nigel Farage's show and a couple of others, just be someone who was there. Yeah. So still not upset. So then we go to the next one, which is a Daily Mail article on the 17th of September. There should be one in here from the Daily Mail in which they talk about his Question Time thing. Oh, no, I messed them up. Sorry. On the 16th, he goes out on Question Time, stabs them in the back. So 15th, he's on GB News. 16th, he goes out and stabs them in the back. No Daily Mail article in between that period. The only ones we've had are the ones I've mentioned previously. So I don't know where the smear is. So we'll look at the stuff afterwards just to make sure. And we have the next one, which is the Daily Mail. Was it 10 o'clock, 16th? So this is reporting on him, going on question time. Yeah. The no smear there. It's just what he said publicly.
It's what he said on question time when he was stabbing them in the back.
When he was smearing GB News. So then we go to the next one, 17th of September. Andrew Neil breaks silence. And, this is the GB News statement
response,
in which they say that during last night's BBC Question Time, a number of demonstrably untrue remarks were made about GB News, that they were conspiracy theorists, fake news, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
We stand
without any evidence, without any substantiation.
No.
Didn't even name what those things were?
No. We stand for fair debate, tolerance, free speech, and factual journalism. There have always been more than two sides to any story, and we believe in listening to all of them. We look forward to welcoming Andrew Neil back on GB News on Monday for his regular appearances. Again,
yeah, but that would be work.
And
there's one thing Andrew Neil has shown he doesn't want to do, it's work.
So then the subsequent articles, and so we'll go to the next one, 18th of September. So this is the Daily Mail talking about Andrew Neil again. So just to make sure that we covered all the bases, what on earth he could be referring to. And in here, they have a staff announcement. So the staff announcements read, this to let you know that Andrew Neil has left GB News. The board agreed unanimously today to terminate his position as chairman and programme host with immediate effect. After discussions with the board, Andrew made clear via lawyers that he does not intend to return after his 11 weeks leave, making his position with us untenable. So this is the idea.
Why would they even have him there? It's like, look, I'm going to do 2 weeks worth of work, then leave for months, and I'm not coming back. Why would we employ you?
So they say no employer can continue to pay large sums of money to anyone who is not available to work, whether from Monaco or from here. Fair criticism. I mean,
it's not a criticism. It's just a statement of fact.
But
if you're not going to work, we're not going to pay you.
But also, I didn't know he was collecting his paycheck still when he wasn't doing the work, which is strange.
Strange. Yeah.
So they also say in here, in an email seen to the paper, a former Sunday Times editor wrote, the Eagle has landed in the smallest private jet in the world. At one stage, Susan didn't think we were going to make it. And this is about the private jet that was sent to pick him up and bring him back, which is £750,000 in value.
Gosh.
But it's a small one, and therefore upset about that. I don't know if he's just saying that in jest. I'll try and give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, because trying to be charitable here. But the idea that he was collecting his paycheck, not doing work, and therefore GB News were like, well, we can't really keep you on payroll because you're not doing anything. And then he leaves. What's his problem? Again, this isn't a smear. This is just like, you just did what you did, and this is a reporting of what took place.
Yeah.
So we'll move on from this. So we have the next one, in which you have Andrew Neil gloating about this. So, because this is the thing, that's where it ends. That's where the trail went cold for me. I can't find a publicly available Mail article smearing him in between the period given, or after, or before.
Maybe anything that is vaguely critical or makes him look like perhaps he absconded from his duties is what he's calling a smear.
Perhaps.
But maybe, Andrew, if you'd actually done your show, then GB News would have been the massive success you were hoping that it was going to be.
And this is him gloating about that idea that if he had done his work, they would have more views.
Which shows the promise that could have been after tweeting himself saying great things on GB News. Okay, well, why didn't you carry on?
So this is him celebrating that he had high viewership when he did his show, and then he went on holiday, and then, viewership went down.
For 3 months.
That's how viewership works. And he's like, shows the promise that could have been, gloating about GB News having lower figures than when he was on.
But that's your fault, Andrew.
Because you weren't on.
You were the flagship presenter. You were the big name. You were the guy, who was leading the charge, and you decided to just go and sit down at the back while everyone else fought the battle for you.
Yeah, so his defense doesn't make any sense. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone can forward me the Mail on Sunday article that exists, but just from looking for it, I can't find it unless any of them are it, in which case none of them smear him. So I don't know what on hell he's talking about. There is an idea. So I spoke to someone trying to help me out with this, and they said, well, maybe it's the Times article that he apparently was upset about. So if we go to the last one here, this is the Times article that apparently he got annoyed about. Split loyalties at GB News as Andrew Neil quits as chairman. And this one speculates with some sources saying about who is unhappy at GB News. Mm-hmm. And apparently it's riddled with some stuff that's inaccurate because, that's how these sort of things work when people are like, sources say. What's going on? But again, it's nothing damning in my opinion, or even a smear of him. It just says that, the people at GB News disagree, which they obviously do, otherwise he wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
He would be there, sorry.
Yeah.
Which he's not. So I mean, the fundamental
But I
point
mean,
of
this
that
is what
headline
he
being
said on
true.
Question Time. I don't want to be the British Fox News. What did you think you were trying to be?
Yeah, and if we scroll down, there should be a graph in here which represents the viewing figures over time, and you can see that one there. You see Andrew Neil begins to leave as the viewing figures are going up, and then viewing figures go down, because of course that's how that works. If the flagship guy's not there, then you're not getting his views, and then Nigel Farage joining and whatnot to try and keep the viewing figures up. Is that a smear of Andrew Neil? I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, that makes him look good, surely, if it's like, well, when you were there were more views.
Yeah.
And again, there is no smear to be spoken of that I can find online. So the idea that he has been smeared by GB News publicly by them leaking stuff, and therefore he's justified in going on Question Time, the enemy organization, BBC, to say that GB News is full of fake news, conspiracy theories. No. The evidence doesn't say that exists. And instead, the evidence shows Andrew Neil joining, not doing the work, leaving, collecting a paycheck, moaning about a private jet, which wasn't big enough, and then coming back, going on 2 shows, saying he's been smeared, going on Question Time, smearing GB News, and then gloating about it. That's the standard of events as chronologically put from the publicly available evidence.
What could have been, Andrew? Who knows? If only you'd stuck around and done your job.
It's his fault. If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go over to lotuseaters.com to subscribe to get access to all the premium content we have.
The way the site works is that you have bronze, silver, and gold tier subscriptions. The bronze being £5 a month and allows you to get access to all of the premium content and leave comments on the articles. And we've got a new feature for the silver tier, and the silver and gold tier, which is having all of the premium articles accompanied by an audio track of a very smooth British voice reading, as you can see on the screen there. It's only an 11-minute listen, or it's however long it takes you to read the article. So that's for convenience. So that's for gold and silver members. And we've also got all of our regular great content, which we're all really proud of. I mean, the premium podcast we have here is Progressing to Destruction, where that's just a lot of work, where it went into examining exactly what the consequences of mass immigration have been in Britain. And this was a great deal of effort to put together, and we didn't really want it being taken down from YouTube or anywhere else, so we're hosting it on our site, and we're very pleased with, well, what is, I suppose, a bit of a negative response, but not because of anything we've done, but because of the facts of the matter, it seems. But we also do various other premium podcasts, like The Contemplations, such as Are There Human Rights? Well, it depends on whose definition of what a human right you are using is. And of course, we do our regular history podcast called Epochs. This week's was The Sea People, the Terror of the Bronze Age. I really enjoyed doing this one because there was a great collapse about 3,000 years ago of the entire economy of the Eastern Mediterranean, and it seems that a bunch of piratical raiders may have been partially responsible for that, and possibly inspired the Trojan cycle from Homer. So we discussed that in that. And of course, we do our book club. For some reason, I decided that we'd highlight the George Orwell ones that we've been doing. So we've got his Road to Wigan Pier, and of course, the classic 1984. And I'll probably do Shooting an Elephant next. Have you ever read that?
Not heard of it.
It's really interesting. It's about George Orwell's time as a colonial administrator and police officer in Burma. And at one point in his narrative, an elephant goes on the rampage in a village and is killing people and destroying houses. So he has to go down and shoot it. And it is an absolutely fascinating look at the sort of colonial dynamics. The reason I haven't done a book club this month so far is because I'm currently going through the Critical Race Theory Bible. As you can see, it's 500 pages long, and I'm about 2/3 of the way through. And there are going to be many very in-depth book clubs coming out of that, because the things they believe are crazy and conservatives need to know about them.
But anyway, if you'd like access to all that premium content, please go over to lotuseaters.com, subscribe. Thank you.